guiding America on money matters for 25 years. This is Money Talk with Bob Brinker.
It's America's money program, Money Talk. Coast to coast, border to border, in the islands of Hawaii and north to Alaska. Money Talk is the program that helps you to learn how to become your own personal financial manager and to provide that enormous gift to yourself and your family members, hopefully for the rest of your life. That way you can take charge of your personal financial future and you can stand aside from the shark attacks that seem to come more and more and more in the financial world. What a gift it is for you to learn how to become your own personal financial manager and to share the benefits of that knowledge with your family members. It is huge. And no longer then are you simply shark bait, waiting for the next one to come along and try to take a gigantic bite out of your wallet. And they do seem to be everywhere these days. There's no question about that. How do you get the job done? You get the job done through acquiring the knowledge. It is that knowledge that empowers you to manage your financial future. That's what Money Talk is all about. The strategies and the tools to achieve that personal financial freedom for yourself and your family, so that hopefully, if you're not already hanging out there, you can someday reside in that land of critical mass. And let me thank each and every Money Talk regular for making our program the longest running and most listened to investment program in America. And again, for that, let me say thank you very, very much. Here on the broadcast, we have spoken from time to time about something that is so very important to understand when you're talking about money, when you're talking about your personal worth and what that personal worth can do in terms of generating income and making a difference, such a difference that you can eventually be in the land of critical mass where you can live off the income from your financial assets. And that difference centers on assets versus income. And the real valuable word here is assets, your net worth. And of course, the other word, which gets a lot of attention, which is how much you're going to make this year, what your income level is. But you see, income is not enough, because unless you invest your monies wisely, unless you manage your personal finances wisely, you could wind up the same way that about 80% of NFL players wind up within a couple of years of their retirement. That is, in financial bankruptcy. Even though you've had a very high level of income, in the case of many NFL players during your playing career, you can still wind up in a state of bankruptcy not that long after you retire. It all comes down to how you handle your money, how you invest and manage your personal finances. That's what's really important. And that's why assets are so valuable, and they are far more valuable than the money you earn in terms of a paycheck, in terms of your ongoing income stream from work. And this is something that so many people fail to understand, and then they wind up in that situation down the road where, because their money has not been handled well and managed well and invested well, they can wind up in that situation where, in a worst case, they have to file for personal bankruptcy. Well, the good news is it doesn't have to be that way. Because if you invest your money wisely and you build up your assets, especially if you build up your assets to that level that we talk about, that level of critical mass where you can live off the income from your investment portfolio, then you really are a winner in terms of managing your money. So if you're a Money Talk listener, I would ask that your thought process be geared to your net worth, to your assets, in terms of thinking about the notion of critical mass. Because after all, it is those assets that you can accumulate during your working lifetime that are going to make the big difference in terms of generating investment income for you and your family to benefit from over a long period of time. And I think that the notion that, well, I'm having a good year, well, I'm making a lot of money this year or on this job, it's a wonderful notion, but the reality is it's really not going to make a long-term difference unless you are able to invest your money wisely, to manage your money wisely. And that means you have to go down that learning curve that we speak of here on Money Talk, that learning curve that puts you in a position, that knowledge curve puts you in a position where you can manage your money profitably. And we use the term critical mass often on the program, and that simply is the amount of money that you accumulate, otherwise known as your net worth in terms of financial assets. And that's the money that you're going to use to be able to generate investment income going forward. And that investment income should be coming in on an annual basis. And that investment income is going to consist of different parts. You're going to have a dividend piece to your investment income. The dividends paid by the stocks that you own, which very well may be in a mutual fund. You're going to have an interest piece. In retirement, this is. You're going to have an interest piece, which is going to be the interest earned on the fixed income investments in your portfolio. You're going to have a capital gains piece. This will vary from year to year, but this will be capital gains, for example, distributed by a mutual fund or a portfolio of mutual funds, and you put your capital gains into that category as well. You put all three of those together, and you're going to find that there will be a number of years where the 4% withdrawal guideline that we've talked about will actually come together as a result of adding up your stock dividends and your interest and your capital gains distributions. You're going to find there will be a number of years when you're going to achieve that 4% withdrawal guideline by just using that. There may be other years when you will do some liquidation of shares in order to meet that. There may be years when you're going to find you have actually exceeded your 4% withdrawal guideline when you add together your stock dividends and your interest and your capital gains distributions, and you have the opportunity then of simply reinvesting the excess. After all, if you've set yourself up that your investment income stream combined with any pension or Social Security income that you have is going to meet your spending needs, then you may have excess income from your investment portfolio. And if you're in that happy scenario, then you're in a position to take some additional money and put it back into the portfolio. There's no problem with reinvesting in the portfolio after you have achieved all of the investment income that you have set as your objective. So these are the thoughts that we use when we put together the notion of critical mass. What is critical mass? It is the investment portfolio amount that will allow you in a diversified portfolio, because in retirement we're looking to a balanced portfolio. It's going to have stock mutual funds. Usually it's going to have interest-bearing investments. It's very frequently going to have capital gains distributions. We look to this balanced, diversified portfolio to generate this investment income. And the reason for that is, and you've heard me say this over the years, because you never place yourself in a position, never ever, where you can put your position of having critical mass at risk. That's why we invest in a balanced way when we're in retirement, because we're never, ever going to place our status of having critical mass at risk. That is not an option. And that's the reason for the balanced investment approach that I've recommended for years for those that are approaching or in their retirement years. Yes, you're going to have some volatility for sure in any investment portfolio, even if it is a balanced portfolio. But the benefit here is that you have a diversified, balanced portfolio, that you have spread your risk, and as a result, you should be less vulnerable to the severe types of volatility that we have seen so frequently occur over the years, for example, in the stock market. I'm Bob Brinker. This is Money Talk.
Money Talk.
Does getting something flavorful and